Rickson Gracie is 400-0 in fights. Now, Rickson just came out, and the whole reason I bring this up, I just cut a Rickson interview. I'm a Rickson mark. Most of us are, whether we like to admit it or not. Most anyone that comes from my era is a Rickson mark. So, but he said, you know what? 415. Let's round it up to 415. And he said it is probably double that. Now, that's insane. I mean, that is absolutely... Rickson fought 800 men. Oh, and by the way, he beat them all. Now, he's not making that claim. He's saying it's probably double that. The official claim was 400. He went ahead and ran it up to 415. Now, before you think that that's garbage, hold on. This just in. What is it, Ryan? 400. 450. All right, I heard Ryan. I said 415. Ran it up to 450. If anybody else came out and told you that, you are going to have a big problem with the story, correct? Okay. It's 450. That's it. We're done here. Get up and go home. Peace is over. Rickson Gracie beat 450 men. That's it. Why? Why does it get to be 450? Why, when Bruce Lee made claims, did we as a community push back? Why, if anybody in any sport claimed that they had 400 matches, only 11 of those are caught on video, but the other hundreds of them, why would we not push back? Well, for that very reason. You want to know how many people who ever publicly had the courage or the disrespect, might be disrespect, but it also might be courage, to come out and tell Rickson Gracie that he did not beat 400 men? You want to know how many people have done that? I follow the sport very close. You want to know how many people have done that publicly? All in. No one. Do you know how many people ever walked up to Rickson, and he's extremely accessible? He has lived a life of martial arts. As a coach, putting on seminars, as an ambassador, as a trainer, as a father of a mixed martial artist, as the brother of the leading family, the founding family. I don't know how many people ever walked up to him and told him he didn't beat up 400 men. They didn't believe his record. All in, all total. That's why it's 400. No, it's now 450. That's the official number. Don't tell it any different. The number's 450. And I believe in that. I truly do. Now, Rickson actually qualified it, which is extremely relevant. What is a match? What is a fight? What is a contest? That's a little bit of a subjective term. I do know at some point in the world of jiu-jitsu, they started calling it a fight. All right, these two guys are going to fight, and they're going to do it in the gi. And it was one of those words that kind of got applied that didn't carry over to Sambo or, say, the sport of wrestling, collegiate freestyle or Greco-Roman. They never call it a fight. It always stayed a match. But okay. And he said that. He said seminars. He said open challenges. He said what I was doing, at the time I was doing, it wasn't called mixed martial arts. It was called Vale Tudo, and I will honor that because that's what it was at the time. He talked about he talked about what he qualified and put in the category of a fight. He was very open about it. Now, under today's standard, you could use Rickson's terminology and do that every single practice that you go to. Every single practice is a fight. As a matter of fact, if you spar 3 rounds, you could actually break that down to you had 3 fights. I understand that. Why does Rickson get away with it? It's relevant. It's relevant that you understand why Rickson gets away with it. Because Rickson was the leader of the industry at the time that it happened. This was tested in the Supreme Court. This was tested by the Supreme Court. The only person in America who can declassify information is the President of the United States. If you reveal classified information, you go to jail for treason. The Supreme Court ruled the president could not speak and give away classified information on the premise that he was the only one who could declassify it. Therefore, the moment he says it, it is declassified. Thus, he could not break the law. It's interesting. Rickson made the rules. There was nobody higher in our sport. There was nobody's opinion higher in our sport. How well do you think you're going to do if you go to Big John McCarthy and you tell him that a rule that he has, or a policy or a procedure administratively, is wrong, you're going to get nowhere, because he is the highest. Right, it's one of those things. You can't go above Big John. He was the first. He made they're his rules. So if Rickson was to classify a sambo match, a grappling match, a seminar, a street fight, or Vale Tudo, if he was to classify that under a fight as the highest ranking member of our industry, he has that right. It's true. It's true. Mark Schultz was never given a black belt. Told you the story a million times. Never given a black belt. He went to an old department store. It was called Mervyn's at the time. They're such out of business. He went to Mervyn's and bought one. And then he entered competitions, checked the black belt box, put it on, and whipped anybody that came his way. Nobody walked up to Mark to this day and told him he was not a black belt. Which means he is. And it's the same thing with Rickson. It's 450. It grew 50 over. It was 400 when I woke up yesterday. It's now 450. That is official.